I am gaming. I am gaming. I am gaming podcast.
Hey everybody, my name is Ivica. Thank you so much for being on the latest episode of I'm Gaming Podcast. This is a podcast about the video game industry, entrepreneurship, gaming nostalgia, global gaming and game development industry and its relationship to AI tools, and many other things I find to be in the same domain of business and creative ventures. Like always, first and foremost, a huge, big, enormous thanks goes to my Patreon supporters who continue to make this podcast possible. Without you and your generous monthly donations, I wouldn't be able to continue making new episodes and reach episode 211 right now this week, which is an amazing thing for me, and you make it possible. So once more, a big thanks to all of you. I really appreciate all of your support and the chance to continue making I'm Gaming Podcast. This episode is all about the fact that layoffs continue to happen on a massive scale in the game development industry across the globe. The same is true for my country, which is the Republic of Serbia in Europe, where I live, where there have been a lot of layoffs in the previous, let's say, 6 or 4 months, and they continue to come in January 2024. The same apparently applies to any other domain of game development in any other region, which is really disturbing. Of course, on one side, this follows the general trend of a big economic crisis across the tech industry, across the tech sector, which is actually a part of the wider IT industry where gaming is located as well, and the fact that global economic outlook is really abysmally bad since basically start of Russian invasion of Ukraine, and 2023 didn't brought anything new or better. In fact, the end of the year where the war between Israel and Gaza began, Israel and Hamas, is also another bad factor in all of this, especially the fact that now Houthis, the Yemeni rebel entity, which controls basically most of Yemen, began attacking commercial shipping in the Red Sea and near its territory, even a lot farther than its territory, means that prices are going to go up of logistics, of transport, so everything else is going to go up, including oil and other forms of energy. And that means that 2024 could be even worse than 2023, which is of course something that the global gaming industry will feel and is feeling right now. But there is a bigger and possibly adjacent question related to all of these layoffs, and that is the issue of AI tools and the fact that the game development industry is trying or is using them on a massive scale. No one is saying this directly from the companies themselves, but many developers kind of suspect that something of that sort could be taking place right now, and that's the reason why the present situation, economic situation, is basically used to kind of lay off people and then never rehire them, instead try to replace their job or their work output with an AI tool. And that is what some people kind of suspect is the reason why there isn't that much rehiring. Of course, when the economy takes a downturn, stuff like that happens, and companies lay off 2 people, they hire one additional person later on. It's not like they just simply switch employees. Instead, the whole projects kind of scale down and contract, and the same happens with the global economy as well. But aside from that, there is that sense that many companies, especially in the domain of art, are experimenting with AI tools and trying to exchange AI tools, even those premium AI tools that they have to kind of pay substantial amounts of money each month for, with actual workers, especially those who are taking place, especially those positions that are located in the junior or novice domain, so people who are relatively new to the business. I see a lot of subtle hints that are showing just that. AI text to image tools are expanding, things like Midjourney are becoming better and better. Also, there is plenty of stuff happening on the front of AI text to animation or text to video development, all of them present really rudimentarily and not that impressive level of output still right now, but I'm certain that many companies they're giving them a chance and seeing if they can kind of lift off and exchange employees in the long run. If that happens, those jobs are not going to come back. That's the sad but very definite fact of these types of processes. And by definite, I mean that it happened often in the history where jobs mutated, but all jobs simply vanished. In this case, that would include several kind of basic entry positions when it comes to 2D art, even 3D art, because text to model options of AI is creating models, 3D models are also becoming more viable. So 2D, 3D and cinematics, animation, storytelling basically, not animations in-game animations, but more like cinematic animations and stuff like that you have in your video games, which is not part of the actual gameplay, but does present atmosphere, narrative, storyline and stuff like that. Intro, outro animations and similar elements. If that happens, again, a lot of jobs will be permanently lost, but I'm pretty sure that the companies which are doing this are now basically chasing a trend. One of my former students explained it best by saying that she is in the game development industry since 2021. In 2022, according to her, everybody was trying to get something related to crypto, blockchain gaming, stuff like that. In 2023, everybody was about AI, incorporating it into pipeline, trying to exchange workers for AI subscriptions, even premium models and stuff in the same domain. So it is a bit of a hype, and a lot of companies will simply fail to add AI as a permanent element to its pipeline where it exchanges or replicates or replaces a human worker, but they will become a part of the toolset, and some will manage to scale down on their actual permanent workforce by employing AI. That means that we'll probably see a change in this trend of layoffs and modest amount of hires in 3 to 6 months from now, when companies will give AI a chance that lasts for 3 months, for 6 months, maybe some for 9 months, but really few of them will give it a year or year and a half to see if it can kind of do what they hope it can do. Instead, most will notice that it doesn't do precisely that, simply because technology is so new, and they will not have the fiscal ability to kind of continue experimenting until the technology is there. No one will say, hey, we're going to work with AI as a 2D artist for the next 5 years, and then it will going to become perfect. They will need to ship video games a lot sooner than that, and that means that in all likelihood at the start of spring and springtime, and then later on with the end of summer, we'll see hires in the game development industry go up once again. That's my hope and that's my prediction. It's connected to the global economic state, of course, but it's also related to this clearly ongoing process of experimenting with AI and AI tools. So that's my look into the crystal ball for 2024 related to the game development industry. Of course, I would love to hear what you think about all of this. Did you have any experience with AI tools and or potential job losses in the game development industry? I would love to hear any and all thoughts in the description below. And thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for listening. That's all for this episode of I'm Gaming Podcast. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing and being here for my new episodes. I talk about, well, a lot of stuff, and I try to make it at least somewhat interesting. So please do that and subscribe to my channel, leave a like, leave a comment. Of course, you can become my Patreon supporter or check out my Patreon supporters in the description below, all of the cool things they're working on. And thank you so much again. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you precisely 7 days from now. Until then, bye bye.